later.
Okay.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah. If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah.
This is the move for those who.
What we do here is go back.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
But I promise you, baby,
Hey! Welcome, everyone, to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. We're still alive, folks. Imagine that, right? Chalk that one up for a win in the W column. Or a W in the win column, or whatever it is. I don't give a shit. We're here. Okay? We're here. So, hopefully you guys are being smart, social distancing, staying inside as much as you possibly can. That's feasible. Wash your damn hands. Wash your ass. Just common sense. Yeah, common sense. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a different world than what we lived in on Friday. That is for sure. A lot of places are limiting, like banning gatherings and stuff like that. IPMS events are getting canceled left and right. It's just it's kind of defeating a little bit, you know. It sucks, really sucks, because two events that I was very much looking forward to got canceled, rescheduled, but still, you know, it just sucks. It just sucks. What are you gonna do, right? It's for the greater good. I get it. I support it. Doesn't make it any less suck-worthy. Just saying. Anyway, that's where we are. That's where we are. So tonight I was hoping to start on the SD build-off build that I'm teamed up with Chris Pabs on, but I am actually still snapping the high-grade unicorn full armor. So I don't want to necessarily start on the build until we've got both kits fully snapped and ready to go, so I can kind of start, you know, mix mashing and all that good stuff. So we're going to continue work on GBWC build tonight, and we'll just kind of go from there, right? So, yeah, just, you know, frustrating times, you guys. Frustrating times. What can I say? Anyway, Chris Pabs, he's over there on YouTube. He says, JFC. For those of you that don't know, that stands for Jesus fucking Christ. Hey. Anyway, Edward Leonard says, people are grocery shopping in painter suits in Florida. I hope, Edward, I hope you're kidding, but it wouldn't surprise me if you're not right now, buddy. It's kind of the shitty situation of it, isn't it? Damn. Anyway. So, yeah. Soravan, he's over there on Twitch. He says, Florida is going to be Florida. Yeah, I agree with that. So, oh, man. All right, so you guys, this week is going to be a normal week. Forced into it, because I was supposed to go to Chicago this week. And hook up with our boy Z and Chris Pabs and hang out with them and shoot a testimonial and come home. But that's not happening, obviously. And next week probably is going to be the same. And probably for the foreseeable future. So we may have an unexpected length of time where we've got 2 to 3 streams a week. obviously depending on if it's a Mechanism week or not. And speaking of Mechanism, if you guys missed out on Mechanism on Friday, I highly suggest you go back and watch it because it was a lot of fun. We were talking about 3D prints and stuff like that, and you know what we all kind of thought on that and everything, and yeah, so it was a good show. It was a good show. Chris Pab says, I'm still working in the office despite some states already shutting down. Yeah. Speaking of which, here in Maryland, the state that I live in, the governor went on today and closed down bars, movie theaters, gyms, restaurants, all that. Yeah. So, that's fun. That's a lot of fun. Donnie Baxter, he's over there on Facebook. Donnie, what's up, buddy? He says, my buddy had to cancel his wedding for March 27th that he's been planning for a year. This thing is ridiculous. Yeah. Ohio's been shut down. Yeah. Shut it down. And if you're living in the Bay Area, near San Francisco, they're basically telling people just to, hey, stay indoors. Don't come out of your houses. Sorry about your luck. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And then you see a bunch of people, that starting to test positive. Idris Elba, for those of you that didn't know, has tested positive. And then the guy from Game of Thrones, I forget, what was his name? He was the red-haired guy. Oh, I forget. But anyway, he tested positive. So yeah, it's kind of messed up. It's kind of scary. I mean, you could very well have it and not have any symptoms whatsoever. I mean, it's kind of fucked. What are you gonna do, right? This is the world we live in now, folks. Hold on to your butts, right? Hold on to your butts. Anyway, let's get off that topic, shall we? It's depressing. It really is. It's fucking depressing. Anyway, let's go camera 2. Yeah? Let's do this. Am I stuttering? Huh. It's weird. It's like my frame rate is low or something. Very odd. I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. I like this. Dust Drive over there on Twitch, he says, people who build an immunity will be called new types. Hey, that's pretty good, right? Adam, what's going on, buddy? Mr. USA Gundam Store. He says, let's build something. I agree, right? Completely forgot to handle business. Rocking the Mecha Army shirt tonight. Seemed appropriate with all things considered. And if you want to rep the Mecha Army, go hit up www.childofmecha.com, hit the store button up at the top. You'll find this shirt and many more, hats and all sorts of other cool stuff there. I hear they make good Easter presents, as long as Easter's not canceled. And as always, if you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we are working with here tonight, there is a plethora of those. There's an Amazon link just below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, sorry, Twitter, they don't allow it. But check the website, because there's a bar up at the top. That'll lead you to the same place. It's the little Amazon page where I got all my tools and stuff listed, and get a little bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it doesn't increase the cost for you. So go stock up. And then, of course, as always, If you are looking for kits, paints, accessories, tools, whatever, our boy who's in the chat, Mr. USA Gundam Store, Adam, and the fine folks down there will definitely have what you need. Mecha Decals, especially, go buy them. Anyway. Oh, my. Yeah, dude, everybody's dealing with the virus BS, man. Cheers to the toilet paper manufacturers. Those assholes are the ones making the money right now. Incredible. Whoosah! But I digress, right? All right, let's go. Boop. Now, actually, let's get zoomed out just a hair there, and let's go super zoom for this one, okay? Let's go there. Get our box. And zoom in. There we go. Get all the other stuff back. All right. Let's zoom out just a bit more there. There we go. Now, if you guys happen to remember the last time we were together, last Wednesday, we were working on this guy right here, right? We basically cleaned off the raised detail that is present in the stock kit, right? We cleared that off, and then we glued down this strip, which we are going to also decorate much like this strip here with that serrated detail. Now, since we were last together, I glued on that kind of raised little deal right here, and we got to clean this up and then apply the secondary strip over here, and then connect the two up front and make it all look nice and neat. Now, one thing I'm missing my eyes. Damn it. Anyway, stay right there. I will be right back. Nobody move, or the virus will get you. Here we go. Now we got it. Now we're in good shape. We got our eyes on. Here we go. Mikkel, everyone leave. He's gone. Shut up, Mikkel. Mikkel's stupid. Anyway, all right. Let's get to cleaning this thing, shall we? Because what we did here, let's kind of summarize how I made this little guy right here, right? Bill, that's not how you spell coughed, buddy. C-O-U-G-H-E-D. Yeah. Anyway. So, what we did, or what I did here, was I stacked 1 millimeter on top of a 0.5 millimeter. So this is now 1.5 millimeters in height. This strip is 3/4 millimeter, so twice the height, which gives us a nice variation in terms of verticalness. Verticalness? Is that a word? I don't know. Somebody look it up. If not, that's my word. Anyway, so we're cleaning up the glue squeeze out first. Right, like that. Yeah. Let's see. Julio A. Poppy. That's how we're starting Mechanism next week. Oh, boy. Yeah, don't get me started on the Mechanism. That's sweet tea. That's sweet tea, man. That did me in. All day Saturday. That put a number on me. Not gonna lie. Alright. So, basically, just to clean out, or to clean off this glue squeeze out, you just kind of have to trim it back with your hobby knife. This is not difficult. You just use the piece as your guide, and you just trim along the piece, and that glue squeeze out will come right off, and your edges will be nice and perfect. Pretty simple stuff, but a detail that many tend to overlook, unfortunately. Alright, so there we go. Nice and cleaned all around the edges. Looking good. Mikkel says, oh yeah, that sweet tea got you good. Yeah. Who did it, man? Who did it? Okay. So now, what we're gonna do next is trim the bottom here, because we left some I left some overhang here to trim that up and make that even with the bottom of this part, right? So what we're gonna do is we're going to trim that here real quick. And we're just going to use the piece itself as the guide. Make just a few passes here with it. Just like that, it should basically be cleaned up. And there we go. Nice and clean. Do a little fingernail test. Nothing. Perfect. That's what we want. That's what we want. Now, we're not done just yet, though. What we're going to do is we are going to wrap this piece down around the bottom here. So, we've got to cut a little piece and apply it over the edge here so we can strap that around, right? So, we're going to clip off a little hunk here. And we're going to get our good old super glue. Put a little dot there. Spread that out nice and even. And now we go and place this ever so carefully. Just like that. Okay, good there. And let's get a little Insta-set on there. One there. Oh, no, that's enough. All right, so now we're just going to let that sit for a few seconds. Just let it work. Marinate. Let it cook. Done deal. Right? Ultraman Dinah. He says, what's happening, everyone? Glad to be back. Good to see you, Luis. Space Rat 53 says, kind of got my finger with a potato peeler. My nail mostly saved it from a bad cut, but pulled the nail pulled the nail apart from my skin enough that it bled, so being careful building tonight. I I didn't need to hear that. I didn't need to read that either, because now I have the mental picture, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. Damn you, Space Rat. Damn you. Yeah. Anyway, let's try to continue on, shall we? I need to stay right there. I need to get a paper towel. All right. All sorts of confuzzled tonight. All right. So, paper towels are great because you can wick up the excess Instaset very quickly, because it does kind of leave a weird, I don't know, almost like an oily feeling on your fingers and stuff if you touch it before it obviously cures out. But you can wipe it right off and it'll be perfectly fine. Now, so that's all cured. We're looking good there. Now we're going to trim back the low-hanging fruit, as we say. And okay. And now we go to town with our knife and trim the rest of this down to nothing. Just, nope, there we go. There we go. Okay. That looks good. Now we gotta even this piece up because this top part here is tapered. Obviously, you can see it follows the edges of the piece. So there is a bit of trim work that we need to take care of on this strapping part here. We need to fix that and make that nice and even, right? Okay. Looks pretty good. All right. And we'll do the same thing to the bottom here. Pretty simple. And we will give this a nice little filing here, just to make that nice and neat. Perfect. And all right, so last thing we have to do is we have to bring this bevel down onto the strapping part. Just like that. And let's see, let's give this a nice final sand here. Make everything connect and nice and smooth, yeah? Sweet. It looks pretty good. Alright, so one thing I'm seeing is a bit of off-centering. So this side needs to come in a little bit more. Kind of like that. It's not bad. Not the greatest, but not bad. Looks like I went in. Looks like I went in just a little bit too far. Now it's tapered down this way, but actually I kind of dig that look, right? You can kind of see it there, how it tapers in. Tapers from here in this way. I kind of like the look of it, so I think I might actually duplicate that. Very Bob Rossish. Happy accidents, right? So, there you can see how that tapers in. I dig it. Yeah, I dig it. I like it. I'd buy that for $1. Okay. So, there's that. Now just going back and kind of reassuring the bevels here. There we are. Nice. And there we go. Looks pretty good. I dig it. Yeah. All right. So anyway, let's see here. Shall we? Wow. There's a lot to catch up on, isn't there? Greek Knockos is over there on Twitch. He says, so, question, just to stir the pot, which I don't mind. What if you scratch build a part or agreeably, then scanned it into vector art and 3D printed that? Would that 3D printing be the same as resin casting a scratch built piece? In competition, no. That would still be a 3D printed part. So that otherwise, whatever, Bob's your uncle. But in terms of, say, GBWC, yeah, that would still constitute a 3D printed part technically, because it is 3D printed. It's the nature of it. If it's resin cast, then that's a completely different story. Greek Knockos continues, though, at the resolution point of 3D printers, resin casting might be easier for repeated parts. That's probably very true. And take a lot less time as well. So, Terry T, he's over there on YouTube. He says, I've been using the CA glue so much this past week that I can't use fingerprint ID on my phone due to the glue residue on my fingers. I got the BSI Uncure, and hopefully that will help. Yeah. Been there before, Terry. Been there before, buddy. Let's see. Hey, Julius Dembski's over there. Sarge. I got the Kotobukiya parts today. Thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate that. He says, does anyone know if things are being shipped out of China by Beehiner and Taobao? Good question. I do not. As far as I should say, the last I heard, China Post was still shut down, but this was a while ago, so I don't know. Brandon5269, he's over there on YouTube. He says, go the other way. 3D model, 3D print, make mold of part, and cast part. Yeah. Still 3D printed, though. Rujlam says the trick is to 3D print part the greeble, then resin cast that sucker. There you go. Factories are up. Chris Pav says factories are up and running, but post is still down. So there we go. That answers that question, doesn't it? So here we are. Kyle H. Mr. Clueless Gunplay says, I think I royally messed up the Vidar arm trying to get creative. Sounds like I might need to learn to scratch build an inner frame. Maybe, man. Maybe. Chris Pab says, also give it up. Man has made up his mind. This is true. Silver Maverick, Ricardo. What's up, buddy? He says 3D printing is freedom. I respect that. On many levels. I respect that on many levels, Ricardo. And only from you. Only from you, buddy. Good shit. Anyway, all right. So we've got the beginnings of our kind of raised little piece here, and what we were doing, for those of you that don't remember, is trying to kind of remix and replicate this part here, this little feature here. That is obviously a recessed detail on the Verka, but obviously the point of our build is to remix it and get it a little bit different, but still kind of retain that quality of the RX kind of onto the Jesta frame. So we went ahead and made it a raised piece on the suggestion of good old Mr. Sorvon over there on Twitch. So I think that looks pretty damn fly. Pretty fly for a white guy, yeah? Not bad. And for those of you that don't get that reference, go look up Offspring on YouTube. You young assholes. Anyway, so before we get into anything else, I want to get this strip on here first, and I think this is the strip that we used, right? Yeah, yep, that's the one. Cool. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to cut a length off of here. And we need to bend it like we did last time, right? So there we go with that. Spire 2K Spire 2K2. Do look up Offspring. The Offspring. Yeah. Fudube always says, do not look up Offspring. Why not? Vincent Lewis says, catching hell from the 3D print guys, Tim. Hey. I stand my ground. Spire 2K2, James 2.0, he says, Tim, you're showing your age. No shame in my age. Alright, so what we're doing is we're bending this kind of lengthwise here. And we're just kind of, and basically what we're doing is we're pinching and bending this way, and we're just kind of stretching this front edge here, so you can see how it starts to curve a little bit, right? So there we go. Oh, Julio, come on, man.
We have a question.
Julio says, "Where's that full armor unicorn, dude?" Obviously you missed it at the beginning of the show. I wanted to start working on that and kind of getting into it tonight, but I'm still snapping up the high grade full armor, so that's still kind of a work in progress at this point. Hopefully Wednesday we can jump into it and start getting after it. So I figure I've got until May. Not a big deal. Yeah, May, buddy. All right. So just a bit more bend in this is what is needed, because you get a little bit more curve in it than what you need, because now this is fairly pliable, right? This can kind of bend back and forth now because you've not only kind of softened the plastic by bending it, but you've also kind of broken down the structure of the plastic a little bit, so it's a little bit more pliable. So it's kind of a simple technique, if you will, right? Get that right there. Spider2K2 says, if you're under 32, you're young. I don't know about that. So what you got going up here, buddy? I don't necessarily agree with that. Okay, get some super glue on here, and let's get a little scrap piece of plastic here. We're just going to spread that out along the length of where we need to glue this strip, right? Okay. All right, so now what we do, very, very carefully, lay down one edge here. Ooh. Okay, just basically you're just following the contour of the piece itself, and just laying that down into the super glue, and then as that starts to hold, then we can go back and trim this off, right? Yeah, Bill. Bill, Mr. Rushlom over there on YouTube, he says, you are only as old as you feel, and after Mechanism, Tim was 100 years old. Dude, you have no idea. I felt like 200 years old, let's put it that way. I was feeling kind of rough on Sunday, on Saturday, not gonna lie. That was a rough day. Rough day. Okay. This one bit of strip right here at the end didn't hold down all that well, so just had to reapply a bit of a drop of super glue there. And now we're just gonna hold that into place, right? And we're gonna drop an Insta-Set on there, and that's going to pretty much instantly get that secured there. So there we go. Oh my. All right. So let's see. Julio says that tea was fucking good, dude. That tea was pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie. Chris Pabs, the moment you stop responding with words and just make sound effects after two sweet teas, it means you old son. Okay. Julio says we had fun. We did have fun. That was a fun one. Mr. Gomez Adams says, what else is this streaming on? You name it, man. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Mech Army Facebook group. Yeah. Everywhere. Kyle H., Mr. Clueless Gumpla, says, Tim, I have a question. What was it like becoming the oldest man alive? It hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. I'll be honest with you. That Saturday, that was the worst hangover I've ever had in my life. And the thing was, or the thing is, I don't get hangovers. Like, I don't remember the last time I had a hangover, right? That hangover was just far and away the worst I've ever had, like by a big amount. Woke up with a headache. Everything was spinning. I felt like I was gonna die. Oh, it was bad. Popped 3 Excedrin migraines as soon as I woke up. Those didn't kick in for at least half hour, 45 minutes, and when they did, the room was still spinning. I felt like I was gonna vomit pretty much all day. Yeah, wasn't a good time. It was a good time the night before, but it wasn't a good time on Saturday. So, Julio says in the after show, Tim was cursing us all out. No, I wasn't. Shut up. Was I? Telling us he loved us. Took off his shirt. No, that I know I didn't. Let's see. Brandon5269, he says, question!
We have a question.
He says, have you ever used the steel putty stick they sell at places like Lowe's and Home Depot for modeling? It's sandable and sets hard as a rock in like under an hour. Yeah, I have used it. Don't do it. Trust me, do not do it. Yes, it's sandable, but as the name implies, it's like steel. It's very, very, very difficult to sand to a decent finish, it's just in general, it's hard to sand. It's hard to drill, it's hard to cut, the whole 9 yards. It is very, very dense and very, the name is appropriate, let's put it that way. So I would not suggest it, no. Stick with modeling putty. Epoxy putties that are made for hobbying and modeling, they're going to be the best. I tried the 2-part wood style putty, which I found to be a bit too soft as compared to plastic. So there's not really a great kind of in between in terms of hardware or hardware store style putty. I would avoid it at all costs. Ruslam says, did he do the truffle shuffle? No, that I know I didn't do. Chris Pab says he was very angry with me on my stance on 3D printing. No, I wasn't. Shut up. Julio says, nah, he just kept popping his chest at us. Okay. See, now they're making up stories. I guess I deserve it, right? Brandon says, I was just curious. I have the Tamiya quick type. Yeah, dude, just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Seriously. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Edward Leonard says, it's like JB Weld. It's hard. Yeah, exactly. JB Weld is crazy dense, and it cures very, very hard. And it's not great for modeling, right? It's great for securing things together that you never, ever, ever, ever want to take apart. But for modeling, don't do it. Don't do it. Alright, so now this super glue is cured and looking good. Let's get to trimming. Shit, that's gonna need a little bit of super glue right there, because that side pulled up a little bit. So let's get that secured, and while we're at it, we're just gonna lay a bead of super glue right down here along the bottom edge of this thing, and then we'll pop a drop of Insta-Set on it. Boom. There we go. All right. So we'll let that cure for a second. Sorvon Zero over there on Twitch, he says, I will say JB Weld is good for one thing, and that's reinforcing joints that break. There we go. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But in general, and for the most part, I'd probably stay away. Oh, man. That's a good one. All right, so let me see something here. Hang on just a second. Got that. Oh, pull that back. There we go. Sorvon says, yeah, I wouldn't use it for sculpting things. That'll be seen. Yeah, true. Persistent Turtle, Mr. Lucas is over there on YouTube. He says, super glue is cheating. Dries too fast. Nice. Anyone can use super glue. Yeah. Chris Babb says, JB Weld is too hot. Yeah, because it cures quick and creates heat from the curing process, right? So, I've never tried it in modeling. I'd always go kind of the super glue route and add in either baking powder or baking soda or baby powder. That way, creates a nice filler and everything. So, should be good to go after that point. Alright, so now the super glue's all dry, all cured up. Now we can get to trimming these parts here. Alright. And what I'm doing here is I'm just using the part here as my guide, so I can trim that back to the same profile, so you don't really kind of see any transition between the strip and the part itself, right? Because that's what we're trying to hide. Right. That looks pretty damn good. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. So now I'm going to trim this little piece back here, so we can add another strip of plastic there and wrap this over this beveled edge. Okay. Looks good there. All right, so now we get another little piece of our strip here, and we're just going to clip just a little bit there. Get our super glue. Just a teeny tiny little drop. And we place this right along that same edge. Okay, just like that. And let's get that secured. A little Insta-set there. And we'll give it a few seconds. Yeah, we'll give it a few seconds. Hey. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Hey, Mr. Zach Bleish, he's over there. If you guys don't know Zach, he's from Galactic Toys up in beautiful Grand Rapids, Michigan. One of 2 stores, I might add. Let's see. Excuse me. Edward Leonard says you could also use plain facial tissues as filler. True, but you may need those to wipe your ass after all the toilet paper runs out. Hard facts of life. Anyway, Mr. Rushlam says JB Weld is fine if you're making a base using metal bits only. Otherwise, I would avoid it. True. Oh, yeah, Zach says we canceled all events. That sucks, man. That sucks. Charles Dodge over there on YouTube, he says, New Type put out an email today. The only employee at work now is John. Wah, wah, wah. Anyway, CML. What area of Michigan? I lived in mid-Michigan for most of my childhood. Yeah, Grand Rapids. Hey. Man, closing for a few days. Yeah, it sucks, man. This whole thing totally blows. Lucas, Mr. Persistent Turtle, says no TP washes ass with iso alcohol. Nice. Making sure it's squeaky clean. It just burns a little bit. Anyway, back to work. Enough of that talk. Jeez. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, so, on camera, yep, here we go. Let's trim low-hanging fruit. Ah, come on, damn it. Just like that, and let's get, damn it. Keep dropping shit. Would not be good in prison. Hey now. Alright. So let's get these surfaces nice and even. And then we can do the last bit here and wrap these around the front to meet up with our raised piece here. That looks good there. Do the same thing on the side. Okay, that's getting there. That's starting to look pretty good. Now we just sand down the transition, and the top surface here should pretty much be nice and smooth and good to go. Almost. Let's take a file to this actually. Let's really get this nice and smooth there. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. Looks like we might have some little micro gaps here that we'll need to fill with some super glue. But that's not a huge deal. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, And then come back here, follow the contour, bottom contour of this piece, so it all matches nice. Good to go. Okay. That looks pretty good. We still use some little refinement here. A little sandpaper. Always does a great job with smoothing the transitions, right? Always does a good job. Michael Thomas, Henry Sturdivant. Michael, the name, man, is like regal. He says, what kind of hobby knife are you using? Dude, this is the NT Cutter, right? Little thing. My favorite hobby knife, by the way. And you can see kind of the size difference between this and, say, your standard Olfa hobby knife. This is much smaller, and I like this for its ability to get in and do detailed precision work, right? So that I really love. He says, any suggestions for panel line scribers? I saw Zach using one to make seam lines into panel lines, and I'd definitely like to start scribing. Well, yeah, dude, you've come to the right place, man. I pretty much exclusively use BMCs. We're in super zoom, so you can't get zoomed out much more than that. But I use BMC chisels. They are just kind of my own preference. So this is what I would suggest, BMC chisels. In terms of kind of starting out, if you're doing master grades like 1/100 scale and up, 0.15 for your panel lines. If you use or if you build more, say, high grades like 144 and under, I would switch this to a 0.1. The 0.05 does make a big difference in terms of the scalability of panel lines. After that, if you were to get two more, I would go 0.3 and 0.6. Those are a good starter set. These two are great for notches and stuff like that. So if you were to get three, these are the three that I would suggest. Although if you do high grades, I would, like I said, swap that out with 0.10. But yeah, I highly suggest the BMCs. MadWorks is another great alternative. It's all on what your preference is at that point, dude. So hopefully that helps. Sam L. Jackson. Hey. Luckily, I won't have to be out of work. I will just work from home. Yeah, me too. I specifically work from home. So none of this shit is a break for me. I just have to fucking deal with the same shit all day long. Sucks. Anyway. Let's see here. Foodie Bay always says the ones here I heard will just be takeout orgy. Yeah, and that's kind of what it is here for Maryland. All restaurants and places are closed. You can only get drive-through and takeout. Yeah. Brandon 5269 San Fran just put a 24-hour home quarantine in place for 6 million people for 3 weeks. So is it a 24 hour? Oh, so it's like an all day quarantine for 3 weeks. Seems a bit extreme, but hey, Only allowed to go out for necessities. Well, it's the world we live in, man. It's the world we live in. Creeping freely for you, aka Miss John Lynn. She says, Tim, you'd be so proud. I started the diorama for Pink Stein. Awesome. I like it. Good job, John Lynn. Weapon X69. Yeah, I'm in the Santa Clara era. Whew. Sorry. Shit's getting crazy, man. Shit's getting crazy. Brandon5269 says, did they waive people's mortgage payments and utilities, or just saying, hey, screw you, can't work but still have to pay your bills? It's, I don't know. Those are all big questions, aren't they? Again, this is the world we live in, folks. Day one. There we are. Michael over there on Facebook, he says, master grades only in this King's Court. He says, thanks, brother. Absolutely, man. My pleasure. Brandon5269 says, I want to try some of those newer MadWorks chisels, the round stock ones. They're good. Yeah. Just make sure you get the what is it? The handle. And I just had it here. Here it is. Make sure you get the this handle. This is honestly crucial, this handle. And this is a good handle too, by the way, for round bar kind of stock stuff. So CML says, same here, Tim. Same shit, different day. Yeah. JD's Gundanium Garage. Those in San Fran better prep for some martial law. I mean, is it that bad in San Francisco? I know it's bad up in Washington State and stuff like that, but I didn't hear that it was like ruthless in San Fran, man. That's like kind of crazy, right? Let me see. Let me check USA Today. Let's see. Wow. Bay Area residents ordered to shelter in place. Huh. Affecting nearly 7 million. Wow. 6 counties across the Bay Area and California issued a shelter-in-place order on Monday for all residents, requiring roughly 6.7 million people to stay in their homes in an attempt to slow down the coronavirus outbreak. Shit. For the next 3 weeks, people living in the Bay Area counties will be restricted from all non-essential travel by foot, bicycle, scooter, automobile, and public transit outside their homes. Also, most businesses will be forced to close until April 7th, starting at midnight on Monday. Jesus. Like, how are people supposed to live? That, I don't know, man. It's crazy out here, y'all. It's crazy. So. Ay. What are we going to do? I don't know. Let's build robots, right? That's all we can do at this point. So. Bill says, everyone stock up on CA glue and you will make it through these troubled times. Gunpla Building will carry you through it. Hopefully. Hopefully, man. Hopefully. Right? Craziness. All right. So, what we got to do next is to wrap this strap around to the front here, right? Ooh, and look at that. That actually fits rather nice right there. I'm kind of shocked at that. Happy accidents and all, right? Here we go. Let's get in there nice and tight and see how. Look at that. It just, I think it was meant to be. Look, it just disappears. Right? All right. So what we'll do, clip that sucker off, and let's get a little super glue on this guy. Okay. And we place. Make sure that's all nice and pressed into place, especially at the front and the back of this particular piece here, right? So if you need to, get you a little bamboo skewer and just kind of press down the plastic there. Just make sure that's holding nice and steady. Oof. Juno over there on YouTube says, I've been quarantined for the past 15 days. Gunpla has basically saved my life. Damn. Juno, where are you from in the world? Let us know. Yeah, I agree with Bill, Mr. Rushlaam. He says, stay strong, Juno. For real. That's rough, man. 15, that's 2 weeks. 2 weeks of quarantine. Oh, he's in Italy. Wow, that's, yeah. Shit's not going good for Italy right now. That's the sad part, right? That's the sad part. Okay. Alright, so now what we do is we do the same thing that we did before. We just trim back these bottom pieces to match contour with the main piece. Yeah, Juno's in Italy. He says, I'm not affected, but here we're not allowed to leave the house if not for emergency reasons. Wow. That's got to be rough. That's got to be rough. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. I mean, stay building Gunpla, man. Stay, like Bill said, stay strong. That's, yeah, that's a tough situation, that's for sure. That is a tough situation. Okay. This is starting to look pretty good here. Starting to achieve the look that we were going for, right? Starting to get there. Starting to get there. Okay, so now we've got this piece wrapped around the front, looking good, right? But since we kind of have like a, and you can see it right there in the contrast, we have a hard corner. We don't want that. We don't want a hard corner. We want a soft kind of corner, a beveled corner. So we need to very, very carefully trim that down. to try our best to match the bevel of the piece there, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get our little file, and that will help us to hopefully even that out. And we'll come back with sanding block. Just really make that nice and smooth. Yeah. And there, you can kind of see how it wraps around real nice. Yeah. Looking good. Looking good. Now, we haven't gone back and cleaned up this, you can see that kind of glossy look there. That's just from, that's glue squeeze out. That's super glue squeeze out from when we applied this strip, right? So what we do, come back, and just cut kind of right along the edge of this piece, right? And then we can go right along the surface and just kind of scrape that back with our hobby knife, and that glue squeeze out should, in most cases, just pop right off, and we should be left with a nice clean surface here. Okay. Just kind of just scrape along the edges there just to smooth it out, right? We're actually going to get the ceramic scraper involved because it actually kind of does a better job at just overall smoothing of the plastic, right? Come back here with our little piece of sandpaper. Just get that really, really nice smoothed out, that whole surface there. Okay. And there we go. Simple, right? It's not that hard. Easy peasy. Anybody can do it. Let's see. Juno says emergencies like needing meds or going out once a week, one at a time, to buy food. Whew, wow. Man, oh man. Michael Crumrine over there on YouTube, he says, officer pulls you over. Why are you going out? You say, I'm out of gunpla, it's an emergency. Yeah, right? I don't know. Juno says, we have home delivery, but everything is basically booked for months. Anyways, didn't want to bring everybody down. I'm just here to enjoy the stream. Dude, no, absolutely, man. You know what? That's what we do, man. That is Mecha Army, right? And Juno, buddy, you get one of these. Just because you're going through some tough shit over there in Italy, buddy. So, that's what we do. We support our own, right? Good stuff. Yeah. Persistent Turtle says, Mr. Lucas says, Tim, do you sketch out a concept or just run with what's in your head? Yeah, the second one. Just run with what's in my head. That's it. Yeah. I don't have... I have a basic plan up here, but I just kind of go with the flow and let the pieces speak to me. in terms of what they want done. Probably sounds a little existential, but it's true. That's just kind of my method, right? Just kind of my method. All right. So that looks pretty damn good so far, I think. I think we're definitely in the right direction. Now, we've got to do the other side here real quick. So, let's see. Did we... Nope, we didn't get lucky with that angle. It's just a little off. Let's try that, shall we? Needed to cut the other way. Just a little, still a little off. Okay, let's see what that does. There we go. Now we got it. Now we got it. All right, good there. And clip that off. Put that to the side. We're going to need that for the other piece. And let's get a little super glue on here. And then we'll ever so carefully lay this into place. Just like that. That looks nice and parallel to me. Hell yeah. Alright, let's get that pressed into place. Little Insta-set right on there. And we let that marinate, right? Let that marinate. June says thanks, I appreciate it. Dude, absolutely. So least we can do, right? We're all in this together at this point. Ranger Chris making happy little Gunpla. Goddamn right, Chris. You goddamn right. Brandon says, all right, night all. Stay safe and hope this ends soon for you, June. Yeah, I think we all do. I think we all do, Brandon. I think we all do, buddy. But take care. All right. So that should be plenty of time for this to cure. So let's wipe off the excess Insta-set here. And we're going to get that clipped. And excellent. This is actually going to be a little bit easier because this bevel, the glue didn't squeeze out into the bevel. So we can actually follow the contour of the bevel that was already there, right? So that should make this job a little easier. Okay. Yeah, that looks much, much better. Cool. Alright, so now we got to trim the bottom here. Just like that. Alright, so the bevel here is a bit larger than the bevel on the other side, but before we move on to there, let's make sure this is nice and smoothed out here. Good. Let's hit this. Let's hit this strip right here while we're at it, just to help that smooth out. Ooh, yeah, there we go. That's looking good. That's what we want. Yeah, perfect. All right, so now we gotta kind of even things up on the other side here, and we're just gonna trim this back with our hobby knife just a bit, and create a larger, you know, bevel surface there. And I think that looks pretty good, right? Yeah, nice and parallel. All even. I dig it. Dig it. All right. So there we go. Hey, look at this. Mr. Win Imong. If you guys don't know who that is, you probably know him better as Paint Pusher, former GBWC World Champion. He's over there. He says, I'm annoying the wife because I'm home all the time now. Dude, we're all home all the time now. But cheers, buddy. Stay safe over there. Sucks everywhere. It fucking sucks everywhere right now. Especially in San Francisco. And Italy. Just saying. Alright, so before we move on here, we gotta clean up the glue. One of the less glamorous types of things that we have to do in this hobby. It's more kind of sucks than anything, but you know what? You want a good finish? You got to clean. You got to clean up after yourself, right? Got to clean up after yourself. What I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of taking my knife and just running it right along the edge, just kind of digging out the glue that's stuck in that corner, right? And the reason why I'm doing this, and the reason why I'm kind of sweating this thing, is because we're going to replicate this serrated detail on top of this strip. So if this is not, you know, a perfect 90-degree angle, then that strip isn't going to lay properly, right? But that looks pretty good all the way down that length. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Now we got to do the other side. Fun times, right? All right. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on the piece to give it a little structural rigidity, right? As we are trying to trim this. And also, too, it kind of gives you a handle, right? Gives you a nice big surface to hold on to and steady the piece. There we go. It's kind of a big old glob of super glue that's squeezed out right there. That looks pretty good. Now we go along the surface and just kind of scrape that super glue out of there. Okay. And then we'll go back and just kind of retrace our steps here and just dig out all the little stubborn bits that are still kind of just clinging on. That's good. All right. So now we'll take our little ceramic scraper. Just clean that edge a little bit. A little sandpaper. That, my good friends, it's nice and smooth. That is now a cleaned edge, right? Looking good. Looking good. All right. Superset5, he's over there on Twitch. He says, over the weekend I was trying to figure out how to connect the back skirt frame onto the waist section on my G3 build, but I can't figure out how to make my own connections. Any tips or suggestions? Superset, I don't know, you know, the composition of the build that you're working on right now, but just a few suggestions. You could potentially use magnets, right? You could purchase little sets like these. Like, these are ball and socket kind of sets from Kotobukiya, right? And you can find these online. Hobby Search, Hobby Link Japan, other places. You could use the epoxy putty trick that you can find on the tutorial you can find on my website. That's the same thing that we used for to get this piece to connect to the Zaku 2's elbow, right? But those are just kind of some rough shot ideas off the top of my head. So hopefully one of those work. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So back to cleaning up glue. Hey. I know it's my favorite subject, and I'm sure it is yours too. Alright, so that looks pretty damn good. Nice and clean, right? Nice and clean. So now we get into applying the trim pieces. Right, these little scalloped kind of pieces down here, and these are just going to go kind of right up and possibly around, but we'll kind of jump that hurdle when we come to it, right? Or shit, we might just jump that right out of the gate. We might just do that. I don't know. Yeah, I think we are. I think we'll just do that. Screw it. Let's go. I like to live dangerously, right? All right. So, we needed 3.2, if I remember correctly. This, I think, is 3.2. Hard to see there, but that definitely says 3.21. So, there we go. Look who just came in. Miss Tex Marquise. She says, anybody got some sweet tea stores out here? Yeah. We were talking about the sweet tea earlier. Trust me, you don't mess with the sweet tea. That would be bad. That probably wouldn't be a good thing. Alright. So, let's see here. We are going to... let's see. Let's lay down this piece. Nope, that's not going to be near long enough. Where's my damn metal ruler? I don't know. It's gone. Whatever. Hulu says he's been microdosing sweet tea to boost his resistance. Yeah, right? We only need 2. Yeah, I mean, the sweet tea is potent. The sweet tea is potent. Huh. And I'm a lightweight, admittedly. So, whatever. Ah. Look what I found. Word. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use that as our as our prop here. We're going to set the 1, 2, 3 blocks off to the side. And we're going to get some of this plastic strip cut here. Juno says, I'll try to get some sleep. Thanks for the nice words. Love seeing custom builds, trying to get better myself. Good night, everyone. Juno, take care, buddy. Be safe over there, all right? Hell yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. Miss Tex Marquis says, make one. 3D print the other serving. Haha. That's cheating. Yeah, you have to scratch build it and pour it yourself. That's what I did. It got me tore up. Alright. We're just going to cut a bunch of these little 3.2 millimeter strips here. Because who knows how many we're going to need. I don't know. We may not even need this many, right? We may need more. I don't know. Alright. So, that looks like enough. At least for right now. So we'll go with that, right? We'll go with that. Now the trick is to getting them nice and neatly onto your cutting mat, right? Let's see. Armida says, I scratch build Margs all day. All day. Yeah. That's an understatement, isn't it? Alright, here we go. Got all of our little pieces onto the cutting mat. Now we gotta bevel them, right? Or as Chris Pabs so eloquently says in his native tongue, we've got to chamfer them. Right, Chris? Jolly good, yeah? Chris Pabs, would you like some sweet tea? Hey. Good old Pabs, man. Good old Pabs. Alright. Get these little guys off to the... There we go. That's good. Julio says, I'm trying to get to a Julio Watch 2020. Yeah, no. Don't do that. We're lucky the Tim Watch 2020 wasn't televised. Oh. Chris Pab says, "Why did you turn into Oliver Twist?" I don't know, because it's fucking English. Whatever. I don't care. Armida says, "I hear the chamfer is his favorite suit, right?" I love the chamfer, sir. Can I have some more? Good old Pabs. Can I have some more chamfer, sir? Alright, so just the tedious task now of beveling these ends to make them, give them that kind of serrated look, right? We're just doing this by hand. I'm not going to sweat the angles or anything like that. I'm not trying to be super precise. I'm just eyeballing it at this point, right? Oh, my head's in the way. Yeah, well. Ooh. Julio says, "Fuck you, Tex." Wow. He says, "I saw that. I fit into gold jeans. Ass on fleet." What? Julio, what the hell are you talking about, bro? You got that home workout thing coming, just like me, which is gonna suck. I know this is probably super entertaining for all of you right now, but this is part of what we do, right? This is part of what we do. We're not gonna try to cut all these. We're just gonna cut a couple more, and then we'll start to apply. One more. Just like that. All right, so now what we're going to do, all right, so we need to trim that down, right? Because this is a bit too long for what where we're placing it, right? So we need to cut this down probably like to there. Yeah. Now let's see if that fits. Yeah. It's not too bad. Actually, that's pretty good. We need to flatten that edge real quick first, because that angle is a bit too acute. There we go. That's what we like. It's a damn fine look. Yeah. That's a good look right there. All right. So, now what we need to do first, before we start really placing, is to swap blades. Because if you look at this blade here, see the little tip snapped off there, right? So, we're going to swap it out. We're gonna swap that out with a new blade. Now right there. Okay. Excuse me. Zach Play says, what are your thoughts on GBWC this year with all of this going on? Think they will cancel this year? Oh, man. Zach, that's a really good question. I don't know. In a weird way, part of me hopes that they do. Because if you think about it, especially the folks in Italy right now, they're kind of getting kind of the short end of the stick, so to speak, because if they're quarantined, they've been quarantined for 2 weeks at this point, like Juno was indicating a little bit earlier in the show. So if those builders don't quite literally have everything that they need in-house, they're kind of screwed. And the same thing with, the higher infected areas, right? Places like China, Hong Kong, South Korea, those types of places, where they're harder hit, enforcing, curfews, quarantine, social distancing, all of the, the different methodologies to combat this thing. It's definitely putting kind of the screws to the modelers, right? And even here, you look at like places like San Francisco. You can only go out in, if you need necessities, and Gunpla's not exactly a necessity last time I checked. So places like that are going to be very tough for the, the respective modelers that live there. So yeah, I honestly, now that I really think about it, I hope they do cancel it this year. I hope they do, because it's not going to be an even playing field for everybody going into it, right? In my mind, there's always going to be an asterisk in terms of this year, simply based on what we're going through. So that's just my 2 cents. I hope they do cancel it, honestly. And I just really kind of came to that realization right now. Sad, but that's where we are. That's the world we live in right now, right? So, what are you gonna do? Let's see. Chris Pab says Julio's in the next Weight Watchers commercial, like that one lady that's twirling in front of the mirror. Imagine it. Wow. Zach says, I don't think hardly any conventions are going to happen this year, so I don't know how entries will go. Yeah. And that's the thing that kind of remains to be seen at this point. That's the big question mark. How long is this going to go on? How long will our lives be changed? Will we ever get back to normal? If so, how long? These are all question marks that can't be answered at this point. So, I think, yeah, I really hate to say it. It's shitty, but yeah, I hope GBWC's canceled this year. Chris Pab says, Tim always trying to get that extension. LOL, I kid, but I do agree. There's just more serious stuff going on. Yeah. Kenneth Sims says a lot of resources came from China: paints, sandpaper, thinners, hobby supply, and Most important, food. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are all things that at this point we take for granted, right? But now this thing has kind of come into our lives and just kind of put a huge hamper on that, right? And no, trust me, guys, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here. I honestly wish everything would go back to normal tomorrow, right? And I wish none of these IPMS events would get canceled. And I wish I could travel and all that. But it's not the world we live in anymore. We got to get back to that, though. One step at a time. So just use common sense. Plain and simple. Superset5 says, thank you for the tips. I actually forgot about the putty trick. Also, the part that I'm using to connect the skirt frame is from the GM Sniper 2 Master Grade. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, hopefully any of those might work, right? So, Superset, just give it a shot, man. Get to building. Get to building. That's all we can do at this point, right? That's all we can do at this point. All right, let's start applying these little pieces here because we got about a few minutes left here in the stream, and I'd like to get at least a few of these little serrations on here. So we got our little super glue palette here. Big old drop of super glue right there, and we got a nice new fresh blade. Kind of get a small drop of super glue on that piece, and we place ever so carefully, just like that. And there we are, right? All right, so we're not going to go across the bevel, but we're going to start on the other side, and right there. That looks good. Now, spacing is going to be key. And what we're going to use, and like what we used last time, is this 2mm spacer here. And that's how we're going to gauge our serration spacing, right? So we hold the spacer in place with one hand, while ever so carefully placing the next piece with the other. And we very carefully remove that spacer. We do the same exact thing on down the line, right? Just like that. And there you see the serrations start to form, right? That decoration. Now I think we'll probably get just one more piece on here in terms of spacing, right? There she is, just like that. That looks pretty good. And yeah, that would not look good if we try to stuff another part on there. But there it is, right? And then you get the whole look right there. That all ties together now, right? That aesthetic is all pulled into one. Yeah. That looks really good. Really good. All right. I just dropped my spacer. Damn it. Come back here, spacer. There we go. So anyway, that's what we got. That's what we got for you guys tonight. There it is. Let's finish up here, shall we? Ranger Chris says, know what you mean, my local IPMS event, which I am planning, on the planning committee for, pulled the plug on ours that was scheduled for May and moved it tentatively to October. Wow, already. Damn, Chris, that sucks, man. Catch 22, more time to work on entries. Well, yeah. It still sucks, though, because, like, May is, what? Basically a month and a half off. It sucks, man. It just really sucks. Like, the two that kind of got canceled out for me. I was planning to go to the one up in Jersey, MosquitoCon. That got canceled today when New Jersey imposed a ban of gatherings over 50 for, I think, the next 8 weeks, something like that. So that right there was the last nail in the coffin, so to speak. And then the other one was Best of the West out in out in Las Vegas, right? And I was supposed to hang out with my friends, those Gundam guys, and that got canceled and rescheduled. So yeah, it sucks, really sucks. It's not about, at least for me, it's not about going to these places and competing or anything like that and seeing the models and everything. It's about hanging out with the people that I enjoy hanging out with, right? It's about seeing my friends. Because I very rarely get to see them in person. And, I just like to hang out with them. I enjoy their company. I enjoy spending time with them. So, it's one of those things. Sucky situation. But, it is for the greater good, so we make those sacrifices, right? Jay Santos is over there on YouTube. He says, oof, got here too late. Not to worry, man. Not to worry. You can always rewind it. Ranger Chris said, had not heard about Vegas getting rescheduled. Yeah, we heard about it today, actually. Those Gundam guys were supposed to have a table there, so that's kind of why they got advance notice. But yeah, Best of the West is moved to, I think, October, something like that. And Silver Maverick Ricardo says MosquitoCon got moved to August 22nd, so that's hard date. That is actually on their Facebook page. That's when it got rescheduled to August 22nd, at least as of now. So, yeah. Kenneth Sim says, maybe most competition can make it online in the future. God, I hope not. Like I said, I like hanging out with my friends, right? Jay Santos says, was looking forward to MosquitoCon. Me too. But now we're gonna have to wait a little while longer, at least till August, right? So, Ranger Chris says, hard to do online as there is a lot of details and the like that just don't show up in photos. Yeah, and that's true. And, the other part of it is that if you do, if you happen to, attend IPMS events, and you look at the demographic, they are normally older folks. And let's face it, not all of them are tech savvy in that regard, right? So, it would kind of put a hindrance on their ability to participate, right? And that's not what we want. We want kind of an inclusive type of thing, right? We want everybody to compete who wants to compete, right? And we want people to hang out who want to hang out, right? So that's the thing. Yeah, Ricardo says the gathering is the best part, and Chris says I like hanging out. Yeah, so do I. That's That's what I love most about events. That's what I love most about competitions and stuff like that, is actually getting to hang out with people in person that you enjoy their company, right? Tough pill to swallow. Tough pill to swallow. Anyway. Zach Bleich says, we're down to 25 or less people in Michigan. Yeah, and that's probably how things are going to go for probably a majority of the country, I would probably expect at this point. So, Maryland right now, the governor imposed a limit of 50 today. Just today. So, yeah, he goes on TV, announces it this morning that all restaurants, bars, theaters, and gyms are to close today at 5 p.m. And I think that was around noon, right? So it didn't give these places much time to get their shit in order. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. So, Ranger Chris says, no replacement for being able to talk shop in person. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Charles Dodge says Kansas City is about to go to 50 or less people gathering. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing, guys. As frustrating as it is, it's for the good of all. Even if you don't contract the coronavirus or whatever, not being a point in that web, so to speak, will help someone else avoid it, right? So that's what we got to keep in mind. That's what we absolutely need to take into consideration when we think about going out to places, right? And as the memes have been spreading around all day, we're scale modelers. We got this, right? We're used to self-quarantining, right? For hours and days on end. We got this. So, Thomas Christopher Staten, he's over there in the Facebook Army, or in the, listen to me, the Mecha Army Facebook group. What's up, Thomas? He says, mandatory early closings here in Western Tennessee. Woof. Yeah. It's everywhere. Hey, and Thomas, since you're over there in the group, you get one of these, buddy. Yeah. So, yeah, it sucks, man. Julius Dembski, Sarge, he's in the thick of it. He's out in the Bay Area. He says no more than 10 or less in the Bay Area. And they just imposed that that kind of almost mandatory quarantine out there in the Bay Area counties. So, yeah. And Sarge, he's got to help enforce that shit. I feel for you, buddy. Ranger Chris says San Diego is already down to 50, though. I thought I heard somewhere saying that they are also recommending against 10 or more. Yeah. Yeah. Kenneth Sim, problem with many countries under lockdown and no prediction when this outbreak will end. Yeah, I mean, well, there's no treatment for it at this point. So it's like we are kind of doing the best we can with what we got, right? I saw one news story on USA Today that one treatment, and they're not calling it like a cure or a vaccine, but a treatment, could still be weeks away. And honestly, quality treatment, cure, vaccine, whatever, it could be a lot longer than that, you guys. And again, I hate to be Debbie Downer. I don't want to be. That's just where we are. It's the world we live in now, right? Hopefully, and fingers crossed, hopefully it doesn't devolve into a Far Cry video game or an episode of The Walking Dead, right? That'd be worst case scenario. I don't think it'll get there. hope it doesn't get there. Shit. But just common sense. Just straight up common sense. So, Michael Crumrine over there on YouTube says this should clear up when flu season is over. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can't. We'll see, right? Julie Stemsky Sarge says public safety mandated the need. Yeah, no, and that's, I get it. I get it. It's shitty, but I get it. Got to, right? Got to. Ranger Chris says, unfortunately, we will not know for some time how much of this stuff is justified, how much is herd panic mentality, and how much is BS. I mean, you know, the thing is, the thing about it is that if nothing happens, that's the point, right? So hopefully nothing happens. That's what we're doing this for, is so that nothing does happen. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway. Charles Dodd says, it'll suck for 2 to 3 weeks, but it'll slow the infection rate. Yeah. Incubation period is 14 days. So hopefully, with the measures taken over the next, several weeks, hopefully that will start to, what do they say, smooth the curve, so to speak, and get that down to more manageable levels of infection rates and all that. So, but he says, but it's also good because many of us can have it and infect others and never show symptoms. Exactly, right? I mean, you look at Tom Hanks, you look at Rita Wilson, they showed minor signs of sickness. You look at Idris Elba, he has no signs of infection. Yeah, it's crazy, right? I mean, I hate to say it, I am feeling fine, but I very well could have it, right? And my mom, who's in her 60s, I'm not going around her because she has a compromised immune system. Can't take those chances. So it's just shitty, but yeah, we got to do what we got to do to keep people safe. So Julio says, you got to rub Vicks on your chest. Abuelita shit. And I had to read it in his voice, too, so you guys got the full effect. Oh, man. Vincent Lewis says, The Division! LOL, right? Ranger Chris says, and Callie plans to go Mad Max style. I hear they already have, like, conventions and stuff for that. It looks pretty cool. Chris Pabs says, there's no telling at this point. Yeah. Kenneth Sim, hope people don't kill each other for toilet paper. Yeah, me too. William Wells says, times to cleanse yourself with trial by fire. Don't you mean trial by combat? I'd rather have that. Anyway, Zach Blake says, I'm seriously worried about the economic repercussions. Small businesses are going to be in a rough spot. Yeah. So the company I work for, we do consulting in the automotive industry, and our consultants fly. And they are all grounded at this point. So we have no revenue coming in currently, except for secondary products that we sell and stuff like that, which are not obviously the bulk of our business. So it's tough. It's going to be tough. Yeah. And I worry about that too, honestly. Edward Lerner says, statistically, there's more regular flu deaths at this point, but the death rate among the elderly is high. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think the one of the main things with the coronavirus is obviously the testing, because if you can't test people to see where it's spread, you can't track it and you can't plan accordingly. And that's kind of the pitfall that we're in right now, right? You look at places like South Korea, who have great testing procedures. They've, I guess, smoothed that curve or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Wilson Alanea. What's going on, Wilson? He says, I created a quarantine online Gunpla build-off to encourage builders here in the Philippines to stay at home. See? That's why Wilson's awesome, dude. He's a great guy. And he puts his stuff together all the time in the Philippines, y'all. So that's cool of you, Wilson. That was really, really cool. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. You're a good guy. Sarge Julius Emke says, be safe and take care of your fellow human beings. Yeah. And that's really what it comes down to, right? You gotta look out for each other. We're all in this together, right? We're all in this together. So, anyway, you guys, 12:15 here. I'm going to jump off. And, I don't know what I'm going to do with my time because I can't go to the gym. Sucks. Yeah. I'll find something to do. And it'll involve snapping the high grade full armor unicorn. Chris Pabs says don't go to the gym. I can't go to the gym because the gyms are closed here, Pabs. Like I've said like 5 or 6 times already tonight. Killing me. William Willis says if you can't gym, then go outside and run. Oh no, I walked what is it? I walked my normal 2.5 miles today, and I think I might up that for the foreseeable future to maybe 3.5. So, and yeah, no, I just walk. I don't run. Running is so high impact on your knees. It's not good. Walking, a little less cardio, just a bit, but it's still really good for you. It's still a good workout, especially if you walk at a brisk pace. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Anyway. Ay. Keep it consistent. Jay Santos. Yep. Buy a home bench and pull-up station. Yeah. Not now. But anyway. All right, you guys. That's where we're going to end it. Edward Leonard says, we're old, Tim. And like I said in the beginning, you're only as old as you think you are. Right? Honestly, right now, I'm in the best shape of my life. I feel amazing. Hell yeah. Spider2K2 says, what's your average steps a day when you walk, Tim? I target 8,000. But here recently I've been getting probably anywhere from 10 to 12,000. So, and I go up and down stairs and stuff a lot too during the day. Yeah, you get that too. My little Fitbit tracks it. It's awesome. Love this thing. Anyway. All right, you guys. That's where we're going to cut it off. I'll be back here on Wednesday. Yeah. And we'll continue on. Hopefully by then I'll have the full armor unicorn high grade snapped up and we'll start in on that thing. Yeah. So we'll see what the next 2 days holds for us, right? It'll be a brand new world again, I guarantee it. So anyway, you guys, man, take care. Take care out there. Be safe. Use common sense. Look out for each other like we do. You know, we're the Mech Army. We look out for each other. Look out for everybody else. All right? So, stay safe. Build something cool. If you're quarantined, stay inside. Do the right thing. All right? Anyway. All right, you guys. I will see you on Wednesday.